think this is pretty interesting. A guy I like to follow on Twitter by the name of Michael, he sniffed this out. And I'm going to give him credit where credit is due, and I do find it extremely interesting. And we are talking about players that may have signed with Project B basketball.
The entire WNBA community was just thrown for a loop when a mysterious account called Project B quietly started following a handful of players, sparking a firestorm of speculation online. You have to understand, this new league keeps everything under lock and key, so when fans notice Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones, and Camila Cardoso suddenly pop up on their follow list, everyone started asking questions. Project B only follows a tiny number of people, so every single addition sends a message. Are these just random clicks, or are they sneakily revealing the first wave of hidden signings? Because if these names are for real, the WNBA could be in serious trouble.
I went over here and they're only following 11 entities. They're only following 11 on their official Twitter feed. Kelsey Mitchell. I'm not following Kelsey, really? My girl Camila Cardoso. You can see I'm following her. Center. The Chicago Sky, right? Jewel B. Lloyd, Jewel Lloyd, a hotshot basketball player.
And you won't believe where this all started. It all began with a single post on social media from a fan who has a knack for catching these tiny details way before the big news outlets do. This fan, Michael, noticed that Project B's official account had suddenly followed a new group of players. At first, it seemed like a small, almost meaningless detail, but then you look at the numbers, and the story gets a whole lot bigger.
In case you guys didn't know this, my third favorite player in the entire WNBA is Jonquel Jones. And they are also following Jonquel Jones. Very interesting because they're following Nike Ogwumike, who is signed with their league, and Alyssa Thomas, who is signed with their league. We've heard they've already signed other players. We don't know who those other players are. Should be noted, unless I'm going crazy, Camila Cardoso, Jonquel Jones are not.
Here's why this is such a big deal. Project B follows almost nobody, which means every new follow carries some serious weight. The second Michael posted about it, fans rushed to see for themselves, and the pattern was impossible to miss. Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones, Camila Cardoso, these aren't just random players. These are high-value WNBA stars with massive influence both on and off the court. When fans landed on Project B's page, the shock really set in. The account was only following 11 accounts total. With so few people on their radar, seeing these three names felt incredibly intentional, almost like they were leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, hinting at secret negotiations. Nothing has been announced, and the players are staying quiet, but sports fans know exactly how this game is played. In today's world, a social media follow can reveal a deal long before any press release. And the moment this detail got out, fans started breaking down every single angle. Why these specific players? Why follow them all at once? And why do it now, when the WNBA is already under pressure?
These particular players, not counting Alyssa Thomas, but some of these players, Jonquel Jones, Kelsey Mitchell, Camila, I've not seen any kind of activism surrounding those players or any.
And the more people looked at this list, the more it felt like Project B was sending a clear signal without saying a single word. Even reporters started to pick up on it, pointing out that these specific players are known for their elite talent, incredible stats, and the fact that they're in high demand overseas. Let's be honest, we all know the money in this new league is gonna be huge.
Big. So, as you can imagine, we're going to keep our eyes open. But Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones are two huge names. Jewel Lloyd, big name. Camila Cardoso, big name, high-profile athlete out of South Carolina.
So the biggest question hanging over everyone's head was simple. Is this just a wild coincidence? Or is Project B quietly showing us the first wave of stars who are getting ready to make the jump? The deafening silence from both the league and the players only made the mystery that much louder. This is about to get very, very interesting.
I think this storyline, watching how this affects Unrivaled, again, I think Unrivaled is doomed. And then how it affects the WNBA is going to get really interesting.
As fans dug deeper into who Project B was following, the importance of each name became impossible to ignore, and this is where it gets crazy. The first shocker was Kelsey Mitchell, one of the most explosive scorers in the WNBA who has carried her team for years. Getting a player like her would instantly legitimize Project B and prove the WNBA can't hold on to its top talent when bigger money is on the table. Then there was Jonquel Jones, and this is when curiosity turned into genuine alarm. She's not just a star, she's a former MVP and a champion, one of the most respected leaders in the game. If she's on their list, it means Project B isn't just poaching young talent, they're going after the absolute elite, the veterans who draw in viewers and build a league's reputation. But the biggest surprise of all was Camila Cardoso. She's new to the WNBA but has become a massive sensation with a huge social media following. Grabbing a rising star with her momentum could pull in an entire new generation of fans. Put them all together, an elite American scorer, an international MVP, and a global rising star. And it's clear this isn't random, it's a strategy. And this is all before we even get to the most controversial part. Project B is backed by a Saudi-owned entertainment company, which has sparked a huge debate about sports washing and whether the life-changing money is worth the political baggage. This financial power is also a direct threat to Unrivaled, the player-led league that now seems completely outgunned before it even starts. Without the cash to compete, how can it survive if Project B is already snatching up the very players it needs? This all leads to the biggest fear. What does this mean for the WNBA itself? The league is already dealing with low salaries and internal issues, and now a competitor with seemingly unlimited funds is threatening to cause a massive talent drain that could undo years of progress. And that brings us to the biggest name of all. Even though she wasn't on the list, Caitlin Clark. With Project B making such aggressive moves, you have to wonder if she's part of their long-term plan. Securing the new face of women's basketball would be the ultimate checkmate, and the very idea has fans terrified about the league's future. And as all of this continued to spread online, it became crystal clear that this was way more than just a social media trend. This signals a seismic shift in women's basketball that could change the entire landscape of the sport. Project B isn't acting like some small startup. Every single move they make points to a long-term, well-funded strategy to go global from day one. For fans watching this unfold, it feels like the beginning of an epic power struggle. And what made it all the more dramatic was the complete silence from the WNBA. No statements, no reassurance, nothing. That silence has only made fans wonder if they already know what's coming. Meanwhile, the entire sports world is now on high alert, trying to figure out who has already signed and who's next on the list. The most insane part? All of this chaos, all of this tension, all of this speculation, it all started with just a few clicks on social media. What started as a quiet set of follows from Project B has now completely exploded into one of the most talked about stories in women's basketball. With powerhouse names like Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones, and Camila Cardoso suddenly on their radar, fans can feel a massive shift on the horizon. Whether these follows are hinting at done deals or just the start of negotiations, the impact is already being felt across the board. The WNBA, the new Unrivaled League, and even basketball overseas are all bracing for what comes next. Project B has officially shown its hand, proving it's ready to challenge the entire system, and the next wave of announcements could reshape the future of the sport as we know it.